first meeting of the Jacksonville Beach Zoning Variance Board in session. Before we begin, as you notice, there are 4 of us here tonight. And normally we have at least 5. And the guidelines require that even if we're only 4, you still need 3 positive votes to be able to have your request approved. And since that's easier to do when there are 5 people on the board who are present and vote, you all have the option of coming before us as a body of 4 and hope that no more than 1 will vote against you. Or you can postpone it until another meeting, and we'll hope that we'll have 5 people at that night. Yes?
When would the next available meeting be?
George?
Probably at this point, April. You would have to get on the list again, and yeah, it would probably be the first meeting in April at this point in time.
The first meeting is April 6th.
Yeah.
The next meeting will be April 6th.
Yes?
Suppose we do not get the required exclusive vote that you're talking about from the 3 who are here, does that become a matter of appealability?
Not as long as there's a quorum. Not based on the grounds that there's just 3.
So
Or
what
actually,
we're
there's 4 tonight.
Yeah,
There's 4.
but you have to have 3.
You have 3 votes.
You have to have 3 votes, even if all 7 of them are present. Yes.
and that's the essence of my question is, if we do not get the so-called positive vote, does that put us in greater jeopardy?
No, it just delays the process.
Excuse me?
It just delays the process.
If you're not comfortable doing it because somebody voted against it.
Yeah.
Would you just have to reapply, or how does that work?
No, just let George know that you want to be on the first available meeting, and we'll put you on it. Yeah, part of this is that we don't think that anybody should be penalized because our board doesn't have all of its members present. And there's no negative bias that will come your way if you want to postpone the meeting.
I think this gentleman's question had to do with the final decision of the board.
Right,
As
and I think
opposed-
what Mr. Knight was saying is they could appeal, but they cannot appeal on the grounds alone that there were only 4 members.
That's
If you
right.
have other
Okay.
grounds
Yeah.
on which you could appeal, then you can go about it that route.
So you're saying there would be no connectivity? You're saying that the line would be drawn between the action of the board and the civility of appeal?
No.
Well,
Maybe I can answer that. So tonight, if you go before the board, tonight's decision will be a final decision as board, which you would then follow with your normal appellate rights as if there were 5 people on the board, okay?
Yeah, understand.
Okay, thank you.
And you think it was still not the hey, there's only 4, but there's reason for appeals. There's some other grounds for appeal that could be. What's that? It's an appeal to the circuit court.
Yes.
We need about 2 minutes to talk with our client, please.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably call my wife too. So if you do get denied, you could just pay for the money and reapply?
I'm sorry, I can't.
You can
So,
go forward to the mic.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
If you do get denied, you could just go through the process again,
Yes, but you have to pay a new fee.
pay a new fee, and go through it again.
Yeah.
So you could still get on in April if you paid the fee.
Well, let me clarify this now. If you were to be denied tonight, your request was denied, just as at any other time, you have a right to either appeal or you have a right to file another application. That application has to be different than this application. It has to be a reduction of at least 25% of what you're asking in order to be scheduled again immediately. Under normal conditions, if you're denied, you could wait a period of 12 months. You could come back with the exact same application and have it heard again. Okay? Just want to make sure you understand that.
So you said it could be like 12 months.
The Land Development Code says you can't come back with the same application until a period of 12 months after you're denied.
You heard what he just said?
Okay, at this point, can we
Come back soon.
take a roll call and vote on the minutes, and then call each case, and at that time, when each case is called, they can make their decision.
Sounds good.
Now, 1 minute.
Yep, you got time. You got time.
Roll call. Scott Cummings. Alexi Gonzalez. Here. John Moyer.
Here.
Francis Reddington. Jeff Truitt. Owen Corey.
Present.
Dan Amari.
Present.
The microphone sounds horrible. Just so you know. Well,
Well, I feel there may be a groundswell of approval, people wanting me to do this again next year since I had the short meetings.
I've had no ex parte communications.
I've had none.
I've had none.
I've had none.
I know one of the presenters said he'd want to be back in a minute if I had to make a phone call.
Well, in the meantime, I move we approve minutes from the regular board meeting held February 2nd, 2021.
Second.
Second?
Second.
Then move to second, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, the minutes have been approved. I think he's fine on it. He's going to answer you right now. I think on a day-to-day basis, it's interview level. You need to be passing your way. How would it be? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh. Yes. The bar down the street, ready to go.
so I'm assuming if they choose not to have their case heard tonight, the proper language would be defer the case until there is a full board. Something to that effect, is a deference.
So that if in fact there was not full board at the next meeting,
Defer the case, I'm thinking is the proper language. I'm not sure about the until future date.
have you all decided what you would like to do? Yes.
In behalf of the
Wait,
project.
hold on, one moment. Could we please call each case and call the applicant up
Okay.
so they can be sworn in and they can give their decision then, please?
So we're still waiting for our first case tonight to come back and let us know what he'll be deciding, and then we'll get to your case.
Okay, which is our first case for tonight?
Board calls Case number BOA number 20-100211, applicant owner Stephen J. Park, property address 3273 Horn Court, parcel ID 180924-0050, legal description lot 7, block 12, Jacksonville Beach Heights, current zoning RS2. Motion to consider a variance from Land Development Code section 34-337E1E for 48.6% lot coverage in lieu of 35% maximum to allow for a swimming pool and paver patio addition to an existing single-family dwelling.
If you could please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this cause is the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? And please state your name and address clearly into the microphone for the record.
I do. My name is Stephen Park, and I live at 3273 Horn Court in Jax Beach.
And can you tell the board what the nature of the hardship is that is caused by your property?
What was that?
Can you let the board know what the nature of your hardship is that is caused by your property?
I'm just trying to build a pool. So I think my house is already over. So I'm just trying to build a pool, a small pool with a little paver area right in front of me between my house and the pool.
Okay.
And so just by building any pavers, it puts me over.
So are we to understand that you do want your case voted on this evening? or no?
Yes, I think I'm gonna give it a go.
Okay.
But yeah, so I guess what should I tell why I want it, or?
Actually, we're interested in order for us to approve your request, there needs to be some sort of hardship that's created by your property. And you might think of it as an undersized piece of property because it's smaller than the standard lot.
Yes, so it is smaller than the standard lot. It's on Horn Court, Horn and Bullion, smaller than normal lots, than the standard Jacksonville Beach lot. So it is small, as you can see. And so just by building a normal sized house, it puts you over. And so I have kids, and I'm just trying to build a pool in my backyard. And with a small lot, it was hard to do. I lived in another lot in Jax Beach, and it was a lot bigger. So just building a pool with a small little area for patio, it wouldn't put you over.
I would point out that the minimum size of the lot normally for that zoning district would be 7,500 square feet. Mr. Park's lot is 6,085 square feet, so it is considerably smaller.
And I'm just trying to build something actually smaller than what a lot of the houses have in the area. So I feel like I'm not asking for too much, especially with the lot size.
Well, where exactly is the patio going to be?
What was that?
There's going to be a patio that you're going to put in? You're putting in a patio?
Yeah. So it's basically just going to be 2 feet on either side because we're putting up we'd like to put up a child gate.
Oh, okay.
Because I got a 3.5-year-old and a baby on the way, so we're going to put up a baby gate around it. So it'll be 2 feet going around the pool. And then, as you can see, our patio jets out right there. So we'll have a little gap in between that house area and the pool.
What's the distance? I'm looking at this survey, and I don't see a distance between the edge of that patio described on the, I guess that's the east side, and the vinyl fence. Is that 10 feet or 15 feet? Or?
Yeah, that's a good distance. It's to scale.
I just didn't see one in there. It looks maybe to see if that.
I think it was 14 feet.
14 feet. Okay.
From the back of the lot to the. So like I said, we try to provide as much room behind there as we could with setbacks and everything.
And that's a closed street. It's not vacant.
What's that?
Seminole Street.
There's an easement, a 25-foot easement on that side of the house, so I don't have a neighbor on that side.
Right. It's all
It's a 25-foot easement between us and Riptide.
And there's a covered patio right behind the house right now?
Yes, there's a covered patio behind.
Was that there when you bought the house?
Yes.
Have you made any additions to the property since you purchased the home?
No, I haven't. I really didn't realize this issue when I bought the house. or that probably would have made me look elsewhere. And I've spoken with my neighbors, and they all have something similar, and they're all okay with what I provided. I talked to all three neighbors around. Even the neighbor 30 feet away lived out.
Well, one of them isn't happy.
What's that?
Jake and Maureen.
Jacob Maureen?
Is that this letter,
We'll get to that.
oh,
Yeah, I mean, so the three neighbors that are in my backyard are who I talked to. So that, I'm assuming that's another neighbor, not in the backyard area.
Any more questions?
I have none.
No questions.
Okay, we'll call the public here. Actually, do we have?
We have, this is for the next one.
Okay.
We have one letter from Jake and Maureen Hankins. Subject, regarding BOA number 20-100211, public hearing, date 17 February 2021. My bottom line up front, this BOA asks for coverage that approaches 50% and may be what the board is currently allowing. I assume you have approved other variances up to what is currently being asked for here on Horn and Pulliam. I'd like to propose this coverage creep needs to stop, and if the design you are considering can be reduced in any way, then please do. As a longtime resident of this neighborhood, would ask the board to consider reducing the amount of lot coverage for the following reasons. As I recall, all homes built on this street and others in the coastal oak section of the neighborhood had to originally be built with approval for over 35% coverage, as the 1920s era planning of this area was originally laid out with a beach cottage vision for this section of the city. This new BOA would be an additional adjustment from the original home build. It is well known by residents who are original owners. Number two, it is well known by residents who are original owners that builders would not include pool and patio packages with the original home build to avoid conflict with the city on lot coverage. Number three, if memory serves, residents of St. John's and Merrill Boulevards in the late 90s, early 2000s for homes built by BestCon were built smaller and no more than 1.5 stories to fit the form, fit, and function of the existing surrounding neighborhood with a lot coverage of under 40%. This, I understand, was by general agreement with city planners. Owners subsequently over time on these streets were allowed to build after the fact small pools or patios should the planning board allow to no more than 45% coverage. With the opening of Horn and Pulliam courts, larger full 2-story homes were built with similar to slightly larger lot coverages of St. John's and Merrill. Approval of these larger homes allowed some loss of privacy with rear setback neighbors in single-story homes, as well as allowing aftermarket pools that went well past the 40 to 45% lot coverage, further encroaching setbacks. Sincerely, Jake Hankins, 3273 St. John's Boulevard, Jacksonville Beach.
Can I reply to that?
Is there anybody else that would like to speak for or against this particular request? Okay, yes, you have an opportunity to respond.
So it sounds like that neighbor is on St. John's, which is not on one of my streets. It's not, I'm assuming that's pretty far away. I turn onto St. John's, and then I turn on to Ponce de Leon, then I turn on to Horn Court. So it sounds like this neighbor's pretty far away. And then they did redesign, they're talking about the 1920s, and they did redesign this area. Since then, it's been developed, and the lot coverages were cut smaller. I'm just trying to increase my lot by 7% to build a pool for my family. That's all I'm asking for. So I feel like it's not asking too much, especially when other houses have something similar.
Okay. You may be
All
seated.
around.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were done.
Yeah, just similar houses have it all around me. I'm asking for a lot less, I feel like, than what other houses have.
Anything else?
I mean, like I said, I talked to the three neighbors all around me, and they're all okay with it.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm on record, so.
You may be seated.
What's that?
You may be seated.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I call the meeting back before the board.
Well, Mr. Chairman, as our resident mathematician, can you tell us
Yes.
lot coverage he would be working with if he had a standard size lot?
Yes, if you had a standard size lot, he would actually be at 39.5% lot coverage with what he's requesting. The chair would be more than happy to entertain a motion of some sort.
I'll venture to support his request.
So you're moving that we approve it.
I would move we approve it.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? May we have a roll call vote, please?
Alexi Gonzalez,
Yes.
Aaron Crowley,
Yes.
Dan O'Malley,
Yes.
John Moran.
Yes. Your motion is approved.
Thank you.
Next case?
Case, board calls case number BOA number 21-100001. Applicant, agent Hilton and Scott Meadows, owner Miller Coos Family Trust. Property address 350 13th Avenue South, parcel ID 176-272-0000, legal description lots 5 and 6, block 134, Pablo Beach South, current zoning C1. Motion to consider a variance from Land Development Code sections 34-377 for 12 parking spaces in lieu of 17 spaces required to allow for a 700 square foot addition to an existing medical office.
If you could please raise your right hand.
Sir.
Will you please raise your right hand?
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And if you could please state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Hilton T. Meadows. The address is 900 Cecily Boulevard, Suite 103, Jacksonville, Florida, 32211.
And have you decided to move forward with this tonight, or would you like to,
I'm sorry, sir?
would you like for us to consider your proposal tonight, or would you like to postpone it to another meeting?
Based on what we have kind of preliminarily heard and questioned, and this hasn't been an issue before, we have mixed emotions, quite frankly, about whether or not to proceed. We understand the opportunity, but we understand the criticality of what we're trying to get done for the client who happens to be here with us, not Mr. Kaus, but his daughter and his son-in-law, and they're in a rather critical medical activity in that they provide services of a nature related to and regulated by the state of Florida. They're licensed to do whatever it is they do there in terms of physical therapy as prescribed by physicians who are authorized to make such referrals. We would really find it difficult we find it really hard to believe that this would not be transparently and affirmatively acceptable to this board. However, given probabilities, mathematically and otherwise, and we're not saying that we're withdrawing because we have any disrespect for either one of you individually, or for the board, or for the city of Jacksonville Beach. We are strictly, in some ways, we're playing a little bit of a numbers game. And we're not right now prepared to fulfill that numbers game. So having said that, our client would like to withdraw this for tonight's hearing and have it come back on the agenda on what, April the 6th, I believe you said?
Well, if not sooner.
I beg your pardon?
If not sooner, I'm not real sure about how the schedule is and how many people are already scheduled, but you'll be put to the next available slot. which,
We do have 2 meetings every month,
Yes.
so there will be 2 meetings in March. If the schedule is relatively open in March, you might get put on the schedule in March. If
Yes.
not, it might be April, either our first meeting in April or second, or,
based on the caseload right now, I don't see it being beyond April 6th. It may actually be before then.
I beg your pardon?
Based on the caseload right now that I'm seeing with the applicants coming in, and I didn't check tonight before I come in here, or I could give you an exact answer, but you would be put on the next available slot. That slot could be in March. It may not take all the way to April, but at the very longest period of time, I believe would be the April meeting. But I can't confirm that right now because I don't know the caseload, but obviously with just 2 cases tonight, I think there's 2 cases next meeting, there may be an opportunity to get you in sooner. And we would certainly do that if we have the availability.
All right. Having said that, I think it would be prudent for us to go ahead and withdraw for tonight. We have enjoyed working with your planning department. I want to compliment each one of them as being some of the most courteous people we deal with. We work in 20 different states. I've been at this business now for 58 years. And seldomly have I ever run into people any more courteous and any more helpful, because that's exactly what we have found. And I compliment you all for the condition that I now see Jacksonville Beach is in. My son and I were talking about that as we were driving down here. And the various times I've been out here, I have never seen this beach in such an attractive condition. So you all are obviously doing a good job.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll look
Thank you.
forward to seeing you when we get you scheduled again.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
so.
If you guys would like to call us, give us a call tomorrow, we can let you know when the next date will be, okay? Okay. Thank
So
you.
for the record, BOA number 21-100001 will be deferred to the next available scheduled meeting.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Been moved, is there a second?
Second.
And seconded, we adjourn. Our next meeting is on March the 2nd, and there are 4 cases scheduled for that meeting.
Okay, very good.
So all in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned.